Good morning. Hope you're doing well. I'm signing on with Instagram here. So this morning, I wanted to talk about what I feel in the atmosphere. So when I get new clients who come to me and share, where they're at, and it seems to be like this repeat, um, I'll say energy, right? That I hear, it's kind of like the sign to me, like, oh, this may be like a mass energy that is going on in the world space. And so my last three conversations, two of them on yesterday were with clients, and the other was with a friend. But after I thought about, those conversations as I was, just kind of resting and being in my own space in the day, I said, man, those, the new clients coming to me for help, and even the person I spoke to that I hadn't spoken to in a while, it was the same energy, although their situations were different. And what I mean by different is one of them was based solely on relationships, and the other were based on their business and their relationships. And I thought I would come on and talk about something that I think will help you tremendously in your process as you're, tapping into new realms of wanting to do things at a different flow, right? So many of you, you've built your business, you got some things working. You are probably even in your six-figure range, but there's some things that are transpiring that you just don't want to do it that way anymore. And then there are those of you who are toddling between relationships. This is for you, right? So I want to share with you that if you continue, right, because this is what I'm seeing people do, you continue to lower your standards based on your current reality. You continue to lower your standards based on your current reality. So I'm going to walk you through what that may look like. We'll start with relationships because, just about everybody can relate to, relationships at some point. So I'll go back to the conversation. This was a gentleman, and we were talking about relationships. I don't know how many of you know, I've been married for 14 years. I've been divorced now for over 3 years, and this is just a platonic friend. But they were pretty much sharing their situation and what they see in the world space. And, here I am talking about women and women having standards, in their dating lives and things of that nature. And they began to give me some statistics that kind of suggested that what women need to do is lower, their standards somewhat, because it's unfortunate, but this is from the world space, not Tanya. You've been following me long enough. This is not the energy that I exist in. But they begin to, let me put how's everybody doing, by the way? Say hello in the comments. I'm pinning a post on Instagram as we get started. Hey there. I saw someone click like, say hey in the comments so I can see. So this app that I'm on, first of all, I'm normally relatively on time, right? But this thing gives me like 9 minutes, or it erases the premiere, the fact that I announced that the video would start early and I would have had to start all over again. And so right at the last minute, I'm like, okay, you got like 1 minute to hit the go live button, or you're going to have to start this thing all over again. And, one of the things in my life in this season is I do not like to be rushed. So I've created my life in a way that rushing is uncomfortable to me. Now, for some people, rushing is a normalcy. Rushing is a normalcy. Hurrying from one thing to the next is a normalcy. they actually are existing in that energy all the time and may not even realize it. So they're like sitting in a space where most of the things that they set out to do are hard. It takes them off their flow, all of the things. And they kind of feel like that's normal. Now, that's not, um, what I just shared is actually not far off from what I want to talk about this morning, because so many people have simply gotten in a space. Amazing Angel, how are you this morning? Most people have simply gotten in a space where they're used to the hustle and bustle. They're used to the hustling hard and running from one place to the next without having space and energy in their life. And for me, when I was in that stage, and guys, I stayed in that stage for a long time. Anybody else? And I almost felt like it was like the kind of like bragging rights almost to say just how busy you are, right? Good morning, dear. To say just how busy you are, how much you got going on. I got to go here, I got to do that. I am not in that energy anymore. Okay. So whenever there is a moment like this morning when I was coming on to the broadcast where I feel rushed, it throws me off. Like, I'm like, oh, that is not for me. So I intentionally created my life in a way where I do not have to be rushed. I don't have to be going from one thing to the next. And one of the things about society is they promote that energy. They promote the do more. Go do this, do 50 things, get on 50 platforms. Now, I am on several platforms, right? But I'm using one app that puts me to several platforms. But anyway, I'm just not in that energy anymore. And one of the things that was required for me to get to the space where my life is set up where I have rest and money flows to me with ease. One, I'm constantly telling myself it gets to be easy. Somebody put that in the comments. It gets to be easy, right? And it reminds me whenever I want to go back to that hustle mode to sit and rest and find the way that it can happen quicker, sooner, faster with less work. So that's just a little tip for you all. But I was sharing that my two of my conversations with clients on yesterday and one with a friend, although they were different conversations, I realized all of those people were in the same energy. And whenever I see this, like there's like this congruency with new clients who are coming to me, and it's like back to back to back, I say, maybe this is where a lot of people are at this time. And so that's what led me to come on and talk about what we're going to talk about this morning, which is you keep lowering your standards to meet your reality. You keep lowering your standards to meet your reality. Now, these three conversations that I'm speaking about were one was solely about relationships, and the other two were about their business, right? These were clients, they were about their business, but they also included relationships in those dynamics. So, one, I was talking to a gentleman, this is a platonic friend. I was sharing with you guys before I was married 14 years, I'm divorced, but either way, it's a platonic friend, male friend I was speaking to, and we were talking about dating. He's been divorced before. His previous or most recent relationship, didn't go well, right? Now, as his friend, there were so many times, and I did eventually share this, but you never want to be the person on the other end, especially in a male female platonic dynamic that is discouraging them from a partner, right? There's got to be a lot of emotional intelligence to be able to have those type of friendships, I believe, because somebody can easily get into a feeling stage. But anyway, the particular young lady was just so out of alignment with what he was saying that he desired. I hope this is making sense to you all. But what I noticed was he continued, he was willing to go to bat, like 2 to 3 years, the same problem, um, going to counseling. They hadn't even established that they were going to get married. So anyway, to me, there was a whole lot going on to make it work. Is this making sense to anyone? Now, I am an advocate for compromises in our relationships, but I am more of an advocate for finding people who are more in alignment with who you are so that you don't feel like you're compromising your standards. That's completely different, right? When you get to the space where you begin to compromise your standards, you change all of your energy. And it not only flows from that relationship standpoint in your life, but it starts rolling over into your business. It starts rolling over into everything that you do. Is this making sense to you guys? Someone says good stuff. And so this is what I noticed that he was just constantly doing all the time. So anyway, just a little backdrop on that. So we're having this conversation about relationships because, you know, we're both in similar dynamics. There's no mutual interest in, you know, he and I. And he's talking about, or we're talking about, these things that they're saying online, like when women reach a certain age, you know, if they have children, all the different things that the world puts them in another category, right? Where basically he was kind of saying that women are desiring a lot, but they have this, this, and this. Now, one of the things that I've learned is I don't back down from what it is that I desire. I need you guys to hear me, right? What I do is I expand my capacity to be able to hold whatever it is that I desire. And what most people do is instead of enlarging who they are, they either lower their standards or they just go and try and do more. Is this making sense to you all, right? So one of the things I did throughout my divorce and separation was I spent time working on myself, right? I figured out what it was that I desired. It says Instagram was reconnecting. Sorry if it went out on you guys for a moment. I figured out what it was that I desired, and then I became a vibrational match. Not only vibrational, but just a match. So that means that, you know, in my dating season now, if I meet someone who checks like a lot of the boxes, but some of those major boxes they don't check. Now listen, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, right? For a moment you'll say, well, maybe we can work through that particular thing. But if it is one of your standards, like loyalty, like faithfulness, like integrity, like honesty, like travel or something that is really important to you, and you know that this thing makes your life go well. When you do compromise on that particular thing, you will end up resenting the person. You will end up resenting the person. So I was sharing with him that irregardless of what society says, right? I just make myself a match for the things that I desire instead of compromising what I desire. Let's go to business, right? Because these were two clients coming to me as well, talking about these three conversations I had. And I realized they were all doing the same things. They were lowering their standards in order to meet their reality. There's a comment over here. I'll read. Good morning once again, Latanya. I was just saying last week, I need to stop lowering my standards because of my current situation where I have fallen so flat on my face, which allows me to make poor decisions financially. I'm going to go there. You're up here for a reason this morning, Pam. Spiritually and especially choices in men. Thank you for touching on this topic. Listen, I told you, whenever I get clients that come to me who are resting in the same energy, especially if it's happening at the same time, it's kind of like a sign to me of what my listening and viewing audience needs. It's like as if God is saying, this is where a lot of people who are following you are at this time. Go and give them some value, give them an opportunity to move out of this space. So that's why I'm here this morning. Pam, thank you for sharing that. It lets me know that I'm completely in alignment. So these other two conversations, now they were about their business. But this is why I believe, guys, that your relationships are almost dictating some of the results in your life. New Client Media, good morning. Thank you for joining on Instagram here. Although these clients were talking about their business, their relationship the realities of their relationships came into play. So one particular person was talking about the fact that now they were in a space because of how their marriage was ending, right? Where they would be paying more bills. And they started getting frustrated. And then what started happening, listen where this thought process takes you. I don't even know if I want to do this business anymore, and all of these other things. And so I asked the question. I said, do you think you would feel that way if the money was coming in and flowing the way you desire it to flow? And their answer was no, right? So a lot of people start making choices and decisions based on their reality as opposed to where they desire to be. So what I did, I said, well, listen, you have a lot of variables going on in your life right now. The last thing you need is to add a lot more busyness to your plate. Now, this is what most people do. They either dumb all the way down on their standards, their goals, their dreams, their visions, or they start doing more stuff, more busy stuff, right? So what I did, of course, was gave them a strategy, right, that allowed them to earn more with less work, right? See, when you're in that space of lowering your standards to match your reality, you really can't think past, you can't think bigger than what's transpiring, and you will always fall back into what's habitual for you. I hope this is making sense. And what's normally habitual is to go find more busy work. I'm gonna give you a really good example, or to just say, you know what, this isn't for me. So another thing that has happened to me, like consistently over the past week, was I had a photographer to reach out to me and say, hey, isn't it time for some more pictures? It's a part of his work, but yeah, from his viewpoint, it probably is time for me to have more pictures. And then I get another individual that said, hey, what about getting some pictures done? Now, let me tell you how this works for me. So the first photographer that reached out to me, I have a photo shoot that is already paid for that I have not done. It's probably 2 years past that I can still get with him, right? So money is not the object here, right? I just don't like doing all the photo shoot stuff. Do I suggest to my clients that they have a decent profile picture? Yes, I do. But what I find, especially in this space in the world, is that so many people are still looking to do all of those external things, which would be $3,000, $5,000 photo shoots and all those things. And I think there's a time and a place for those things. But so many people are worried about all these external things instead of what they need to do from within. I haven't had a professional photo shoot in years, guys. I am still earning money while I sleep. Somebody tap the screen for that. See, a lot of times what holds people up is I need to go get somebody to revamp my website. I need more, if I need to go get a photo shoot. And I think that those things have a place, but they are not the thing that's going to move you in your business. There are some simpler, easier things that you can do to get in the energy and flow where you need to go. I hope this is making sense with you guys. Because oftentimes what you do is you go and try to find more hard stuff to do. So I'm going to talk to you about three, like levels of consciousness. And this stage that I was talking about, you guys have been hearing me talk about the standard cis stage and the self-aware cis stage. This in the self-aware cis, that energy is, let me go find more work. Let me go hustle more. Guys, I have another recent client who came to me whose business is earning over six figures, but they are so tired. They are running like a chicken with their head cut off. They're exhausted. They can barely even receive the information that I'm sharing with them because in their subconscious mind, easier doesn't even make sense. Easier doesn't even make sense. It's like they've been in this habitual practice of making even simple things hard, making them more difficult than they have to be. It's up here. And we can take that back to relationships. So let's imagine that relationships weren't meant to be difficult. They weren't meant to be struggle love. It wasn't meant to be struggle life, right? But because we have that mindset or that heart set, we attach to all these relationships that don't truly serve us, and we got to go in there and become the therapist and the life coach and all of the things in order to have a great relationships. But what if we practice going within and becoming a real match for what it is that we desire, so that we meet someone on that level? Not to say that it's going to be absolutely perfect, but it's going to be more aligned. It's going to be simpler if you become what it is that you're desiring. Now, I believe that self-aware sis stage is necessary. A lot of things happen in that stage. You build systems and different things like that in your business, but after a while, those things are just, you're chasing, trying to keep up with all of the systems. And there's another level, right, where it happens with more ease and more grace. If you guys see me coming on consistently, it's because this is just what's flowing out of me at this time, right? Not with pressure at all. Not with pressure at all. So one, most people are operating on an old paradigm. This is an old thought process, and everything is done off of fear. Their choices are fear-based. Why they do something, why they don't do something is all operated from a space of fear. This is what I call survival mode. Survival mode. Now, did you guys know that naturally we were innately given the quality to survive? It is like the bare minimum basic natural instinct that we've been given. That's survival mode. But if we're going to continue to evolve and climb the steps of evolution and consciousness, we got to get out of survival mode, right? Survival mode may be, I just need enough to pay my bills. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. And it's often that thing that makes you go back to doing the things that you were doing before. And then there's a second stage where you move into desire, where you start saying, I want more than just being able to pay my bills, right? This is a stage of desire and want. This is often when the self-aware cis energy kicks in. You start making the list, you start doing the things, you get yourself in a position where you can pay your bills and all of those things. But the way that you're doing it is through this chase. Now, the industry that I used to work in, a lot of people stay in the stage of trading their time for dollars. Like, even if I give them a strategy to recreate what they're doing, allow other people to do it, create a new course, that they still, like, they're so stuck and attached to trading their time for dollars. That's that self-aware cis stage. Kind of like, I know what to do, this keeps me afloat. But on the inside, something is still calling them for more because they're burned out. They're feeling like Pam feels, where they are lowering their standards because of their current situation. So what happens is their mind is more on their reality, what's happening now, instead of what it is that they really desire. And so they make decisions based on their current reality. They set goals based on their current reality. I share with you all, if it's something that I desire, what I do is instead of saying, well, let me cut back on this, I say, oh, how can I create more in order to purchase the thing or do the thing or whatever it is? I hope this is making sense to you all, because many people are creating their life again. That self-aware cis stage is a great stage to have. It has its benefits in it, but over time, it becomes the thing that causes you to feel burnout. You just keep going back to, the same habits and the same patterns. So in the desire stage, where you move into that stage, it's more of a doing stage. Do. It's like a grinding stage. It's that stage is kind of rigid, right? So the first stage was like this an old like paradigm of survival, and then the next stage is a doing stage. And many people who are at six figures are at this stage. They are at this stage. And then we're going to talk about this next stage, which is more of a being stage. So it's not necessarily about doing as much as it is about being what it is that you desire. Is this making sense, guys? Right? So you're more in a flow state. So money is coming as a result of who you are. Listen, a lot of coaches struggle with this here. And I struggled with this, once before too. Not only coaches, now that I think about it, service-based business owners even. They feel that people in certain income brackets will not purchase from them or buy from them because that's not the income bracket they're in. I do well in my business, right? But I have not reached millionaire status. But I have several clients whose business earns $1 million who come to me for help. Is this making sense to you guys? Oh, Breda, good morning, dear. Is this making sense to you all? See, all of those are limiting beliefs. And the reason that they come to me, right, is first of all, I have something that they need. Y'all don't hear me. They come to me because of who I am being. Want to be here. Good morning. How are you, dear? Those clients are coming to me because of who I am being. The first time that I had a client whose business earned $1 million, when she shared it with me, I was like, oh, right? But then I realized that regardless of where she was in her business, what my value was what she needed. My gosh. And many of you are lowering your standards to match your current reality instead of becoming a match for what it is that you desire. And this is why things will go left and back and forth and up and down and in and out in your life, right? I have to check myself, guys. I have to say, hey, when it's something larger that I desire, most oftentimes we'll say, well, where can I cut back? But all of that, guys, is going to take you to a lower vibration. A lower vibration. I shared with one client the other day, I said, so I asked her the price of a certain service that she does, right? And she told me the price. I said, I have a client who tripled her service cost and tripled her income for a service that she works a lot less than you do for that service that you perform that takes you 3 to 4 hours. Because most of us we don't want to, but our energy is saying, I need to work harder. I need to do more instead of focusing on being more. We talked about relationships. We lower our standards in our relationships so that it's kind of like, it's fear-based really, because it's like, okay, this has failed for me so many times. This guy is a little better than the last guy. Am I talking to myself here? This guy's a little better than the last guy, so I'm just going to work with all his baby mama drama and all those other things, because at least you're lowering your standards to match your reality instead of becoming a match for what it is that you desire that's at the next level. You're setting goals from that space. You're living from that space. If you focus on going within, on the inside, right, you will tap into a new realm where you become a match for what it is that you desire. So I've given some resources for you guys in the comments, maybe in the descriptions on YouTube. My Queen Behavior class, now the price was supposed to go up last night. I forgot to go in and change the button. So for those of you who are wanting to join us, and it's a deep dive on self-esteem. A lot of what's infiltrating your space and your reality right now is self-esteem, and we don't realize it because self-esteem is how we value ourselves. It's one of the focal points, right? As I get into deeper scenarios with my clients, so I have my exceptional mastermind. A lot of them, it's not necessarily self-esteem that they're dealing with. What they're normally dealing with is stepping into just a new level of being to match what it is they desire. They, getting more out of that trading time for dollars mentality, because it is a mentality. Listen, guys, I work from the comfort of my home. I traded my time for dollars for many, many years. Now, imagine being in a career that was successful to you, it built your whole life, and then having to transition to something that you aren't quite sure, right? But you have to step into a space of certainty. You have to stop creating your goals and your dreams based on your current reality. It has to be, you have to come from the place that you desire to be, and that's more about your being. So, three things that can help you all, depending on where you are, and you get in where you feel led. For some of you, it may be my exceptional mastermind. That's a 6-month opportunity. It's different from the 12-month one I did. You can apply to join us. You can go in the above the video. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, it's in the description box. But I believe it's renewfulcircle.com/E2022. Then there are those of you who are like, I need to tap into another level of my self-esteem. The Queen Behavior Master Life class is going to be for you. I'm going to change that price. I was supposed to change it last night at 12. So if you want to join us, go ahead and, invest from where you want to go, not where you are now, where you are now. I think I can put that particular link in the comments. It's renewfulcircle.com/queenbee. renewfulcircle.com/queenbee. At the current moment, there is a payment option. I think it's like a 2-pay option for that. It's not even overly pricey, but that option is there because I made myself a promise. My services are $4,000, $5,000, $10,000. And when I began doing inner work and helping people with inner work and healing, I always want to provide a window of time to make it easy for those who really want it, right? Because we can say we do, guys, right? But our actions really determine what it is that we desire in our lives, what we're really in alignment with. Me transitioning my life from my previous career, I had to be in alignment. I moved to a completely new city. I put my daughter in a school of arts. We didn't know anybody. I have not missed a beat. Do you all hear me? It doesn't mean that things don't happen, right? But I'm mindful to remember where I desire to be and not what my current reality is. I can't make actions from my current reality. I can't make decisions from my current reality. And my thoughts cannot stay in my current reality because it will continue to give me the same results. So I always practice a new state of being for where it is I desire to go next. I hope this is making sense for you guys. Then there's another opportunity called, it's my Money Master Life class. You can access that immediately. It talks about limiting beliefs. It shares with you where you're having these limited beliefs as it relates to your mindset. I believe that is renewfulcircle.com/money. You can access that immediately as well. So you decide, which of those resources that you need, which works best for you. For those of you who are wanting to join Exceptional Mastermind, those of you who have joined before, I've grown, right? I've grown. Many of you haven't had a coach in a while. And some of the stagnation is from accountability, but we're tapping into, really operating more in your feminine side, even in how you do your business. Now, that feminine energy is more of a receiving. It's not a chasing. It's not a hustle. It's allowing things to flow to you with ease. So that 6 months is more from that space. You applying is not about committing, right? It's about having an opportunity for us to have a phone call to see if you're in alignment, if it's an alignment for you, for what we're going to step into for that. We start in June, but for those of you who join in March, there are different plugs, right, for you all that join in March. So some of the terms of joining will change after March, but there is an application for that particular mastermind. Again, that's the Queen Behavior Master Life Session. Hey there, I see all of you guys joining on YouTube. We're talking about the fact that you keep lowering your standards to meet your current reality instead of becoming a match for what it is that you desire. You keep lowering your standards. Well, maybe I'm going to cut back on this, or I'm going to do this less. Or you go into this hustle hard mode where you're like, let me just do more, do more. But it's about being. This next level is about being. It's about being a match for what it is that you desire, which requires internal work, inner work, right? So many times we want to grab things from the outside. I was sharing with you, I had 2 people recently to reach out to me about photo shoots, and one of them I've already paid for, some years ago. I just haven't done it, right? And this is a trap that many entrepreneurs get into, this trap. Well, my pictures don't look good enough, and this and all of these outside things. They get a strategy, they make it harder than what it needs to be. Well, I need to do this. Listen, your being is going to be what helps you to tap into that next level, right? And so I've given several resources. You guys can decide which one is a match for you based on where you feel you are. But all of it is about taking you to that next level of, I call it consciousness or spiritual growth, where things are flowing into your life with more grace and ease. Good morning, Sharonda. How are you? Sojourner says, no, you are speaking truth. Let's see, that's Pam. Good morning, Obreda. How are you? Morning, Sharonda. Sharonda says, that's big. I wish I knew which part I said. I'd elaborate on it when she said that's big. But how many of you know that you've been lowering your standards to match your reality? You've been creating goals based on where you are. You've been marketing to clients based on your own circumstance. I share with you all, I've had several people now whose businesses earn $1 million. I earn really well in my business. I'm not $1 million earner. However, these people earned $1 million. And if you have the mindset that certain people won't buy from you, right? Because they make more than you do, you're going to exist in this limiting belief space that's going to detract people from you. So those clients are coming to me because of my being. They're coming to me because I have something of value that's missing in their business. I hope this is making sense to you all. I have something of value that's missing in their business. This is about being. This is about being. No, making decisions based on our now, but for where we want to be. Yes. See, that's that fear factor. It keeps you on this hamster wheel. You have to move into a space of trust, right? Where you're making the decision based on where you want to go, not where you are now. Many of you have visions that are bigger than where you are now. And the trap that most of the world exists in, I'm talking about 95% of the world, is what I call that self-aware stage, where they got I know if I hustle and I do this, I can make this happen, but at this level. So I create goals. My energy is really in the reality of where I am and not where I desire to go. So I wanted to come on and talk about it because, again, I've had 2 clients in a conversation and they were all resting in that same energy. Some of them were talking about relationships. So they started lowering their standards because of fear. They started saying, well, he's okay. Well, maybe I'll just. No, I'm not saying, we all know that we're not perfect beings. But if you have a list of your standards, loyalty, available, even if there's a certain income bracket. Now, this is getting ready to get really touchy. Oh gosh, this just came up, but I'm gonna talk about it. So part of the conversation I was having just with the platonic male friend was, he asked me the question about this specific income bracket. And he's saying, well, most black men are earning around, the average black man is earning around this much money, right? How do you feel about finding someone at this particular range? And I said, first of all, let me share with you that that particular range would not be a problem if they had other things in place: money in the bank, 401k, all those things. Because let's be realistic, right? Money is such a touchy subject, but it impacts our life in so many ways. And those of you who are on Instagram, my phone is about to go dead. Jaden, can you please do me like a really quick favor and bring me my charger to my phone? Really, really quick, because I'm on like 4%. Hopefully we can make it Instagram. So I said, let me share the reasons why that would probably be an issue. One, we're getting older, right? We're getting more mature. Different things are going to happen. People are going to be taking care of parents and just so many things that I think people aren't thinking about that I think cause huge problems later in relationships, right? Second of all, I like to travel. We can't travel off of that. Now, if this person, as I said, has some other things already in place and they're ambitious and, things are moving forward, it would be different. But a lot of what the world wants you to do, this is what I realized. The world wants you to compromise. Can you plug it over there? Will it reach? It should. 1 second, guys. Can you move that out some? It still won't reach. Instagram, you may have to come to, see, there's not another space, right? You may have to come to Facebook. I know a lot of people are going to shoot me down for, what I'm sharing, but listen, I know how I want this next part of my life to go, right? And so many people are compromising in areas that are going to become an issue, and they end up falling back into the same space that they are in before. The same space that they're in before because of those compromises. Now, when we think about income, it's not about the amount as much as it is, what do you have established as far as a male is concerned? Because you have to also understand that I believe in more of traditional roles as well. I know that traveling is important to me. I can do that from my income, right? And a lot of times if a guy is not healthy emotionally and he is not at a point where he can provide, men's work is attached to their ability to provide for their family. Listen, it just is. It's one of the first things God gave men to do. That was work. And when they aren't comfortable, like this same person that may be in this income bracket that is kind of like just barely getting by, they're going to have emotional things going on as well that's going to impact the health of our relationship. If they don't have the ambitious drive and some things they're already doing, it's going to be an issue later. Y'all don't hear me. I don't talk a lot about the money thing publicly because I believe there are people for everybody, but it doesn't make someone else wrong. You just have to decide how you want your life to be, what you want to be in alignment with, and then make sure that the people that you are connecting with are a match. See, fear keeps us from doing that. And this is why we continue to settle, whether it's in relationships. Relationships are not about money. You can have someone who is a millionaire and their stuff is raggedy. Trust me, they come to me for help. They come to me for help in their business. So it's not about the money as much as how do they have their life in order. Do you guys get that? How are they moving forward? See, we get fooled so much from external things. The cars, this is what they made. I had someone that asked me, do you make more now than you did when you owned a brick and mortar business? For those of you who are new, I owned a brick and mortar service-based business for 10 years. I had, if we were full in staff, I had 12 staff that I led as a team. And my answer was, I profit more now. I profit more now. Because sometimes we're just simply looking at the wrong things. See, when we're in that, I call it that self-aware sis energy, we're always looking for more stuff to do, even if it's not getting us the results that we desire, because we've taken on the energy that busy means we're productive, we're getting ahead. But it doesn't always mean that, especially I have clients who are six-figure earners who desire to go past beyond their six figures. And this next new stage is not about you doing more, but about you being more, about you having the capacity for what it is that you desire at the next level. So your capacity would be like the vessel or the container. So today, if you have this desire for something major to occur in your business, do you have a container large enough to hold that, or would it take 50 different clients in order to make that happen? Is that making sense? Is that making sense? That may look like creating something like the mastermind, right? Where less your effort, you make more money and you actually serve from a higher level. And it's so easy to go back to those little bitty things. A lot of what has to happen is letting go. I got to a point where I was like, I've been saying this for so long. Like, I'm not trading my time for dollars anymore in my previous career. I had to make a decision, which meant I had to let some things go. Hey, Maisha, good morning, darling. I had to let some stuff go. Like me working home from the comfort of my home, guys, I have so much time freedom. It's nothing to wake up and like, oh, someone purchased that. I had to let go because most people feel and they're unaware that what got you here won't get you there. There's another level. There is another level. I told you, I was in that self-aware sis stage for a long time, where most of you are. Well, I'm just going to do more work. I'm just going to do more work. And see, I remember when I first launched my mastermind, first I had to make a decision. Like, I had already created the thing, right? But I wasn't being the thing because of the things that we talked about earlier. Fear, those three levels of consciousness. And I'm trying to get you guys to the third one, right? That old paradigm is fear. It's survival mode, right? It's just paying the bills. Okay, I'm good. I'm paying the bills, but you're not really good because you're constantly complaining because you're not in the realm of being able to do the things that you desire and that you want. And the funniest thing is when you get to that space where you can, some of the things you thought you wanted to do, it won't even be important anymore. It won't even be as important anymore, right? Then there's that next stage where you move into desire and want. This is when you go into that self-aware stage where, okay, I'm on track, I'm doing things and I'm just going to keep doing more things. But if you don't release that energy, if you don't release that stage, you will never get to that next round of more ease, more grace, and more flow. You have to let some things go. Mindsets, some of the little tasks that you're doing. I told you guys, people came to me saying, isn't it time for new pictures? I have a photo shoot that I've paid for that I haven't done, right? So it's not about money. It's just not really what I desire to do. I'd rather go outside and take a natural picture near my garden, near my flowers. And listen, I'm still earning money. Now, there is a time and a place or something major that you may be doing where you do need a new photo shoot. But so many people are spending their money and investing on all of those external things, and instead of investing on being, which is internal, it's inner work, it's mindset, it's moving away from those limiting thoughts and those limiting beliefs and just kind of going back to doing it how you were doing it before. And what you do again, you create your goals, you create your decisions and the things that you do based on your current reality, where you are and not where you desire to go. um Sojourner says release and let go. Pack light. Yes. Fear and survival mode of just paying the bills. Absolutely, Sharonda. Desire and want. That's on track, doing things and keep doing more things. It's not more stuff. And listen, this is so connected to how people think about wealth. Because what they'll do is they'll go to the store, and there was a study on this that I read many years ago, but I mean, I've just seen it proven, not only in my own life from where I was, but even from the lives of those I get to serve. And people, they see something, so it's like super, super cheap. So they'll get all of them in 5 different colors. But it doesn't last. Their home is crowded. They got more stuff to keep up with. Is this making sense to you all? It's the same more, more, more energy. It's the same more, more, more energy. Another thing that people think about wealth is they think it's a one-time thing. So Instagram just went out on us. They think it's a one-time thing. But wealth is a being. Wealth is about developing a container or a vessel that has the capacity for what it is that you desire, that can exist and continue to grow and expand. That's what evolution is. If not, we stay in the same stages. I hope this is making sense. So I have left some opportunities for you all again. Um, the Queen Behavior Master Life session, again, I forgot to change the price on it. It will go up as soon as I can get a moment and settle down. And I feel like changing it today, that will change. The price will increase. A lot of people are battling with self-esteem, and they don't realize that that's what it is, because self-esteem is how you value yourself. And when you value yourself differently, you make different moves. You make different moves. Then there's the money mindset course. That's a course you can access immediately. renewfullcircle.com/money. You can access that immediately. And for those of you who are really ready to go to a new level, you know, coaching, accountability, stepping into more of a feminine space, which is where you're in creation mode, but you're also in receiving mode in your business and enlarging the container and your capacity. renewfullcircle.com/apply. You can apply to spend time with us for 6 months, find out the details and all those things if it feels aligned for you. And I just wanted to share, because this is the energy that's coming to me with the new clients that are coming. You are lowering your standards to match your current reality instead of being a match for what it is that you desire. All right, that's my take on this morning. I hope this has been a blessing to you all, and I'll see you soon.